Hey, I'm back. This is Goose with On With The Show, and thank you for hanging with me. I know I took a little bit of time off trying to get some things evaluated with the channel. Wanted to make sure that going forward, try to figure out what I want to do and how I want to do this. And I think I've come up with some good decisions that hopefully will pan out in the next few weeks. Just basically, just I want to get an idea of how often I should do videos and and get an idea of what kind of topics I should be talking about. A lot of you have been responding to the topics I've brought up already. I want to kind of treat this almost like a daily radio show. So will I be coming on every day? I don't know yet. I'm still evaluating that. But come to find out that the topics I thought you probably didn't want to hear about are stuff that people keep asking me about. But so from here on out, I'm going to trust my gut, and I'm going to bring you some topics, including the ones that I've avoided in the last week or so concerning Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck and their upcoming divorce. And apparently, people want me to talk about the live action Snow White that's coming out. But for today's topic, we are going to talk about Nikocado Avocado and the big swerve that he put out on everybody. So, like everybody else that woke up on a Saturday and went looking on YouTube for something to find. I saw this video that popped up on my recommended from Nikocado Avocado. I will admit I am not a big fan of Nikocado Avocado, or at least I wasn't until Saturday, because for one thing, I'm not a big fan of mukbangs. I don't understand the concept of people who basically just sit there and just eat massive amounts of food. Of course, this coming from a guy who basically does restaurant videos on his other channel, Travel by Nature. And so, but again, I kind of like, this one was just kind of like, just threw me for a loop. Because I had heard that he'd gone on a weight loss journey. But I also heard he quit his weight loss journey. In the whole thing with his channel, because when I first saw him, it was like you had a hard time trying to decipher whether or not this dude was for real, or if this dude was like creating a character. We now know we realized shortly after watching a handful of videos this was a character he had created. His character was annoying and grating, and it was just hard for me. I didn't understand. Again, for me, I still don't understand, mukbangs. But that attitude might change over time. But it was just kind of wild to see him come on. I'm not going to show the video of him with that one's been played to death, of him with the panda head on. I'm going to play his TikTok though in just a couple minutes, with the audio that he put out for that video. But it was astounding. And then again, because I wasn't a big follower of hers, my daughter is. I don't know if she's a big follower, but she does follow him. And for her to all of a sudden say, oh my gosh, is that him? It was shocking and surprising. Because this was something that just totally came out of nowhere. No one saw this coming. No one could understand how he was able to put this together. I'm going to explain that in just a minute. Well, not in a minute, but I'm going to explain this later on the show, how he did it, because it actually wasn't that difficult for him to pull off what he pulled off. But let me go to the ears of TikTok.
2 steps ahead. I am always.
Here's him just dancing and having a good time.
This has been the greatest social experiment for my entire life. It's gripping to observe all these unwell, disoriented beings roam the internet in search of stories, thirsty for a distraction from time unspent, spoiling their minds, yet stimulating them at the same time. It's brilliant, and it's dangerous. I feel as if I'm monitoring ants on an ant farm. All these little consumers, all of these lost and bored. People consuming anything that they're told to consume. So I am the villain.
Yep.
Because I've made myself one. And you will continue to consume these stories about me year after year after year, for as long as I tell the internet that I am the villain.
That is absolutely fantastic. I am very, very, very happy for him, for the most part, because there were times. I remember when Logan and I were talking about it during our audio podcast a couple of years ago, maybe when I first saw him. When I first saw him, I was like, "This dude's crazy." Um, and then he did a mukbang, I think, with Hungry Fat Chicks. We'll talk about in a little bit with the blue taki noodles, and I'm like, oh my! And it was and it was disgusting to watch because everything turned blue in their mouth. I'm like, I couldn't watch anymore. I didn't understand it, but to see, video after video, picture after picture of him just surrounded by fast food and consuming it, and even and him going through the little the stores and the scooter, and like, and basically saying, yeah, I identify as skinny and it's just water weight, and that's all. He swerved us all. He got all of us. He came out. He did full WWE heel mode and basically just said, "You were looking for a villain. I'm him." And he talked about this being a social experiment. And I don't think that he intended in the very beginning for this to come out as a social experiment. I think when he first came out, I think from what I've heard of other people, he basically he wanted to have like a little channel where he was talking about being vegan and vegan food and all this other stuff. And somehow he was able to kind of like move away from veganism. Where he was able to consume protein. I've seen a video of him where he's like trying to cook an egg. He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I think those are um, some of the best videos that he did where he's just basically being himself. Um, but somewhere along the way, I think he realizes he's going through. We all go through this YouTube journey as we're putting out videos, because it's like we all start small. We all start, basically with nothing, and then we start putting videos together, and people find us, and then we get a following, and it grows and grows and grows, and our videos either get a lot of views or they don't get any views. And I've had that happen on all of my other. This is my third channel, actually my fourth. I have a personal channel where I watch all the videos, and then I have Travel by Nature, which is our reality show vlog, Missy D's Kitchen, which is our cooking channel, and it's doing very well. And then I just started this one, or I brought it back to life, is what I'm basically coming to. But it takes a while, and I think there is something in him where he's noticing, when I'm doing this, I'm getting a lot of views and people are interacting. When I'm doing this, I ain't getting nothing. I'm getting nothing. And I think somewhere along the way he was like, let me see where this goes. Let me see where this goes. And along the way, he figured that if he were to be unhealthy and consume massive amounts of junk food, fast food, and play this character to the point of just absolutely, lunacy, people would follow. And let's be honest, this was a social experiment that I think was very telling, because we as human beings love to watch the train wreck. When the traffic slows on the freeway, we're craning our necks, wondering where's the accident. Why is traffic slowed down? Where we want to see those crazy things on television, the high speed chases and the shootouts and all that other stuff, because we're fascinated. Of all things, we're fascinated with tragedy, and with people who are willing to do extreme things to make themselves noticed. This was crazy. Um, the way he pulled it off, though, I will get into in just a little bit. But I want to get into a couple of newspaper articles. Let's get into this one from NBC News. Oh, let me just go back this way. Go from NBC News. YouTuber Nikocado Avocado bamboozles viewers with secret weight loss transformation. The popular mukbang YouTuber told NBC News he hid his 250 plus pound weight loss from millions of subscribers by uploading recorded content for 2 years. That's right. He had recorded this all ahead of time. Nikocado Avocado has pulled off a years-long prank. The popular mukbang YouTuber known for eating enormous amounts of food on camera fooled the internet by completing a secret weight loss journey while uploading old videos to mask his progress. Nikocado Avocado, whose real name is Nicholas Perry, revealed his new look, a drastically slimmer appearance compared to his look in his other recent YouTube videos to millions of subscribers Friday. Well, I saw it Saturday morning with my cup of coffee. Today I woke up from a very long dream. I also woke up having lost 250 pounds off my body. And just yesterday, people were calling me fat and sick and boring and irrelevant. Perry, 32 years old, said in his latest video, people are the most messed up creatures on the entire planet. And yet I've still managed to stay 2 steps ahead of everyone. The joke's on you. The video titled 2 Steps Ahead got more than 26 million views over the weekend. It drew a flurry of speculation around whether he could have achieved such extreme weight loss in the months since his most recent uploads, all of which showed him a considerably larger size. Perry said said by email that it took about 2 years to lose the weight, going from 411 pounds at his heaviest to 158 pounds today. I have strategically posting pre-recorded videos for 2 years on both YouTube and TikTok. I edited the videos so that they would appear recent, allowing me to focus on healing my body, very important, behind the scenes. I shaved my head so that people wouldn't recognize me in public. A handful of fellow YouTubers also helped to keep the secret. We'll go over that a little bit. Opening the video with a giant panda head on panda mask on his head, he called his quiet transformation the greatest social experiment of my entire life. He told viewers that watching internet users' continual comments and speculation about him felt as if he were monitoring ants on an ant farm. The panda, according to Perry, was meant to symbolize how the world of social media is not as black and white as it appears. His aim, he wrote, was to remind people not to take the internet so seriously. While everybody pointed and laughed at me for over-consuming food, I was in total control the entire time. In reality, people are completely absorbed with internet personalities, obsessively watching their content. That is where a deeper level of overconsumption lies, and it's the parallel I wanted to make. Yeah, baby. I mean, he just got us all. He got us all. Let's take a little bit of sip of coffee here. He got us all. How did he do that, Goose? How was he able to pre-record all those videos for 2 years? It's not that hard. It really isn't. Let's think about this just for math's sake. For math's sake, all right? There are 52 weeks in a year, right? 52 weeks in a year. Let's say that you put out 2 videos a week. That's 104 videos a year. All right. You would have, for 2 years, you'd have to put out, let's say 210 videos. 210 videos you'd have to stockpile into a drive that you can just pull out, edit, and put up. That is what he did. It's not hard. When there are times when we get so busy in our week here that for Miss Cindy's Kitchen, we will shoot 3 or 4 videos in one day, just so that she has content to put out for the week. We went out for when we did recently for Travel by Nature. We went out to shoot one video on a Saturday, and ended up shooting 3. And I was able to and I'm the only one here that does the editing. So I'm editing all these videos, plus all our shorts. It's very, and editing is very time consuming. That's one of the things they don't tell you about when doing content creation, social media. Yeah, that editing is probably the most time consuming aspect of of your venture here. And it's funny because I have a master's degree in film and television. I know how to point and shoot a camera. I know how to, you know, like, get the best shots that I'm looking for. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's you're backlit so much. I have to change stuff in post. Um, but I told a friend of mine, an editor friend of mine, who this is primarily what she does is editing. And I'm like, you know, when I went to school, I wanted to be a writer and a director and a producer, and yet I spend more time in the editing bay than anything else. And she just smiles. Yep, that's right. That's how it works. So I don't think it was that difficult for him to stockpile all these videos. And even my daughter, Maddie, she was even like pointing stuff out. Like there are times where he would start to do his mukbang and he'd start to eating and he'd eat like 4 or 5 things and then all of a sudden throw a fit and cry and throw things around and he wouldn't even eat the rest of the food. And then she's like, it was perfect because then you could repurpose all that other food that you just had sitting there for your next mukbang. You could still eat it. It would just be a different video. And I thought, how brilliant. The dude was a genius. He he was he was 2 steps ahead of everybody. It's not that hard to stockpile footage. He probably went back and even found old footage that, oh, I hadn't used this. I forgot about this. Wait, I could combine this with this and it'll be a new video. Oh, how brilliant. Oh, yeah. The only question people have been having is how did he lose the weight? You know, and it's funny because so a lot of people are sitting there saying, well, he probably just used Ozempic. Well, okay, what if he did? I find it funny for decades people have been like screaming for a pill to help people lose weight. And now we got one, and now they're all just like, it's a crutch. He didn't put in the hard work. He used Ozempic and lost the weight. So what if he did? So what? Maybe he went. The dude purposely shaved his head so no one would know who he was. Maybe he went to the gym. Maybe he had a personal trainer that he could sneak in and sneak out. Maybe he's made enough money. He probably just built his own home gym. The dude, I mean, you saw him dancing there, like having a good time. You know, he. I don't want to say he fooled us all. He swerved everybody. Let's get into the next article over here. This one is from the New York Post. Yep, the New York Post. As I'm looking at my uh, from Isabel Keen. YouTuber Nikocado Avocado, known for grotesque mukbang videos, reveals shock 250-pound weight loss and how he hid it from fans for months. Excuse me. The YouTube star, known for his gluttonous mukbang eating videos, that he has lost 250 pounds while convincing his millions of fans he was still dangerously overweight. Nikocado Avocado, who has over 4 million subscribers on YouTube, where he posts videos showcasing himself and others eating excessive amounts of food, unveiled his much slimmer physique in a video he posted Friday titled 2 Steps Ahead. The video also included a rant in which he referred to his followers as ants and derided them for watching his videos and commenting on his size when he was obese. Nikocado Avocado called the stunt his greatest experiment, and he pulled it off by hiding himself from his videos for months and posting only old videos he had recorded before the weight loss. The content creator, whose real name is Nicholas Perry, revealed the drastic change 3 months after telling fans he quit his weight loss journey. So he even made it a point where he was going to go on a weight loss journey and then decided, yeah, forget it, I'm not going to do it, and would be taking a hiatus. Perry, however, wasted no time returning to his roots for viewers' enjoyment, pulling out large plates of noodles to slurp down. While his shocking transformation took many fans aback, most were happy to see the creator in good health in one person writing, "Let's be real, this is what we hope for," rather than facing his passing due to complications caused by his heavy weight. Another fan wrote, "This feels almost not real. He managed to play us like a violin." Appropriate enough. He is a violinist. "This redemption arc feels surreal." This is the last quote. "He gained weight, became a multimillionaire, lost weight, biggest comeback ever." Yes, this is what it's all about. This is what it was all about. This was one of the things that I think a lot of us were just, in seeing him, were worried that he was going to die. Considering the last, I would say, year or so of watching um, of fat acceptance influencers passing away because of their obesity. And it's become a new trend now on YouTube. It's becoming a new thing where, these fat influencers are now trying to, stake their claims back into the back into the social media, and people are now looking at them like, no, I'm sorry, this isn't right. You're overweight. You're gonna, and I think this whole stunt also puts a fork in them too, because a lot of them are saying, well, you really just can't lose the weight. Oh, really? Well, look at this dude over here. He lost 250 pounds. Look at him. He's nice and slim. He's healthy now. I I'm sure that there are going to be some fat and acceptance influencers are going to look at that and say, well, he's the exception. I mean, this really puts a kink into their whole ideology, and it's really has turned a lot of people, again, a new topic to talk about, when it comes to fat influencers and all this other stuff. I'm actually going to talk about one right now because when I was going through, I mean, first of all, I'm sitting there on a Saturday morning drinking my coffee, which I have another sip, thank you. In total shock, watching Nikocado avocado, and then he not only does he do his whole, sorry, not only does he do his whole thing, he then sits down with a whole tray of spicy black bean noodles, which, by the way, are delicious. You know, if you're watching, Nick, we have a great Korean restaurant here called Crazy Barbecue. Great black bean noodles. I've had them; they're fantastic. You ever get a chance to come in town, give me a call. We'll go have some. Um, anyway, and he eats this entire tray. Probably about, he even says it's probably 3,000 calories of black bean noodles, and he's got a huge smile on his face while he's doing it. That is what we all hope for. He even said, after, "I'm going to continue to do mukbangs. I love to eat food. This is what I do." And quite possibly, I mean, if you think about it, he could probably just have that one dish and then just kick back the rest of the day. He doesn't have to eat. Eat 3,000 calories and you're like, "I'm full. I don't have." It's like going to a buffet. You're like, "Okay, I'm done. I don't need to eat. I don't need to eat the next two meals. I'm already full." That's probably how he is right now. It's probably how he's figured everything out. But just to see the smile and the joy on his face, not necessarily for the fact that he swerved all of us, but for the very fact that he feels like he has finally found, to use an old cliche, he found the light. And he's back and he's smiling and he looks happy, and the idea that he was able to get some of these YouTubers to keep his secret a secret, I mean, is even more amazing. But as I'm going through the day in the morning, um, I'm trying to find some people who are like, we got to talk about this. And the first person I came across is Obese to Beast. He's a really cool dude. I love watching some of his videos. He's one of these guys that comments on the fat influencers, and he's someone who was obese, who, I don't I guess you could say he was obese. He came to had a Jesus moment, and he basically he started working out and he's lost his weight and he's become a personal trainer. And even has suggested that, in looking at some of the videos, it's like, yeah, you can tell he still has some of the flabby um, flesh from some of the flabby flesh, from the skin, because it's still kind of there. He probably had secret surgery to remove a lot of the excess skin, is what some people are saying. And then as I was going along, we ran into Penguin Zero, Charlie. Charlie is probably I want to say, one of the smartest men on the internet. You don't want to debate this dude for anything, because he doesn't look. Just to be honest, he doesn't look like much, but he's smart. The dude is smart. He knows how to debate. He's very intelligent. Um, I wasn't a big fan of his in the beginning. Becoming a lot of these people grow on me over years, and so he's starting to grow on me. Is because he's so genuine. He is so genuine, and he's like someone I hope to, like, come across one day, just shake his hand and say, hey, you're one of the guys that kept me honest when I was doing some of this stuff. And let's be honest, nobody wants to debate Charlie, because you'll lose. You'll just lose. Don't believe me? Just go ask Sneeko. You just ask him, because you'll lose. Anyway, and he even came out and says, "My gosh, we were all swerved by this dude. We were all uh, and even Charlie was smiling and happy for Nick. This is a dude who was like, uh, I mean, has no problem taking people down, and he was like, "This is great. This is what we all wanted. We wanted the comeback." Um, and then um, we kept going along, and Cinnamon Toast Ken had a video on Nikocado, and there was some. He was talking about how quite possibly maybe Nick recorded this thin video before he gained all the weight. That this was like something that he had recorded well before he had started doing his mukbangs. I would find that very difficult. But there are some people who were like comparing Nick's teeth and were able to say, no, these look like he's had some work done. I don't know personally, but even he was like smiling, like, oh my gosh, this guy got us. He got all of us. We have seen him do this train wreck for years, and now the last 2 years he is just like, he stockpiled all these videos, making us all think that we were just going to be, I mean, possibly going to his funeral, and he shocked us all. And then I got to talk about Oopaville, because Oopaville, him and Nick, where they were doing like interviews together. They were doing, they were doing videos together. They were, and in fact, I just went up before the show. I went and checked on YouTube, and there are a couple of videos from Oopaville with Nikocado Avocado from a year ago. And yet Oopaville was able to keep this a secret, not tell anybody, and basically gave him support, gave him the support that, uh, by keeping it a secret. And let's go even further. Let's talk about Hungry Fat Chick, who I think just recently came out with one of her videos and said, you know what, I'm thinking about going on a weight loss journey. Her and Nick, I think in her recent video, celebrated her 52nd birthday by doing a mukbang on Outback Steakhouse. And he's thin, and he's sitting next to her, and you know, and even now she's even thinking about doing a weight loss journey. And I think, I would have to say she was probably in on it too. What's to say that by her watching him do this, that she's like, I think maybe I should do this. That would probably be uh, a great thing. She's 52. It's going to be a lot harder to get the weight off now. And again, I think it's hard for mukbangers to do these weight loss journeys, because their content is so driven behind what they eat and what they look like. Again, I think we just had a mukbanger like who died from doing a live stream mukbang just a month or so back. Um, So he might be an inspiration for her to take on, a weight loss journey. But then I was coming across a video today, and Michelle McDaniel. She's also somebody who I guess reportedly was obese and had lost the weight. She walked away from the fat acceptance um, mantra to become healthy. And she came on, and and she was doing. This is the funny part because she came on in this outfit looking like the best way I can describe it is from Scuba Steph. Scuba Steph is another YouTuber she does these skits with her friends, and they have what's known as the fast food house, and she plays Rhonda, the from McDonald's, like the daughter of Ronald McDonald. And by the way, if you've not seen their skits, they're funny. Go check. She not only does stuff for the fast food house, but she does also stuff for like excuse me, like Velma and like Scooby Doo stuff. She does a lot of. Her and her friends like are very very creative, very funny. Um, and one of these days, I hope to be a character, even if it's just a side character, in just a few of her videos. It would just be fun just to watch them, just to watch see. They look like they have a lot of fun doing it. But Michelle McDaniels comes on looking like Rhonda from Scuba Stuff, and she does the entire video in that getup, not the opener, the entire video. Which I'm like, okay, that sounds fine if that's what you want to do. The thing of it is that she was one of these people who didn't seem very supportive of Nick. In fact, she kept calling him Nico, not Nick, not Nikocado, Nico. Um, and so I don't understand what her whole motivation was, other than the only thing and again, I'm going to be just, I could only get through like half of her video. Not because I got tired of watching, but because I had to run to go do something else. And then when I got back, my TV was being used by one of my kids. So I wasn't able to see the whole video. But from when I got for the first half of the video, her whole thing was, you destroyed your body for a social experiment. I want to probably say, no, that's not what happened. That probably the social experiment came out of his experiences with doing the mukbangs and doing all this stuff. And there's a lot of truth to what Nick is saying. A lot of truth to what he's saying. Because let's think about this. Again, I told you, we all like to watch the train wreck. We want to watch the cars crash into each other. We want to see the big explosions. We all sit there, oh. And that's what he was getting at. He fooled us all because he kept putting out content that made him look like he was gonna die from being overweight. And then he comes back and says, "Look, I got you. I got you." This social experiment, I think, excuse me for a minute, the social experiment came about, I think, because he saw something that was going on. He saw something going on because he noticed that more and more people were engaging in his content when he was overweight. And there was a rumor going around, and I kind of get a lot about it because he's 32 now. And the thing of it was that he was going to do this till he was 30, going to make all his money, lose all the weight, and retire. So if he started the weight loss journey 2 years ago, he was 30, right? He could retire. He really doesn't have to, where he's made a lot of money. But he even said, he came back and says, I enjoy doing this. I like doing this. I actually, after watching the video, and again, I'm not someone that sits there and watches mukbangs, but after the video and seeing how happy he was, how happy he is, um, subscribe to his channel. I, of all people on my personal channel, subscribed to his channel. And I think it was more because I want to see the rest of the story. We saw him go from these extreme highs and crashing lows to watching him gain all this weight and create a character of YouTube history that will go down as probably one of the most creative. And again, he went full WWE mode on this. Stayed in character the entire time he's on camera. And I just sat there. I want to see where this goes from here on out. I really do. I am so overjoyed that the Nikocado avocado we have now is going to be the real Nikocado avocado, or should I say the real Nicholas Perry from here on out. Um, because there's only one way he can go from here, and that's, I think, up. They're saying that his subscriber count has jumped. They're saying that his content views have jumped. There are those who are still like sitting there like, oh, this is just a stunt. This is just a stunt. And I don't buy that at all. I really don't. So I'm going to end the show here. I want to thank you all for watching. Went a little over because I want to keep it within 30 minutes, but I had to get on here and talk about it because again, the more I dive into this, the more I am just happy that he is where he's at now compared to where we saw him 2 years ago. Actually, again, thank you for watching. This is On With The Show. I am Goose. If you liked the video, give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so that you are always in touch of when a new video hits. Share this out to your friends and family, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the whole Swerve by Nikocado Avocado, and basically what this means for the future of YouTube or mukbangs, because this ought to be interesting to see where it goes from here. Um, yeah. Thank you for watching the show. I'll see you on the other side.